Well, it's been 6 months, I think. I think the last time I uploaded a video was like late July. Um, I don't really have any definitive reason on that. I was just busy working. Um, I have two kids, so my life can be crazy at times. It was just I just stopped doing it, and I I don't make any money from YouTube. I just was doing it for fun for a while before I had a full-time job because you know, I lost my job. If you don't know anything about me, I lost my job during COVID. Was a stay-at-home dad for like 3.5 years, and then I got a job being an audio technician full time, and it's great. I love it. I'm still at that same job. I'm actually coming up on 1 year, February 1st, so that's kind of exciting. Um, but things have been kind of crazy over my life in the past 6 months, so I'll get into that, I guess, a little later on. Um, but for the most part, I've just been playing games still. I've actually played a good bit of this when I stopped recording and uploading. I actually played a good bit of this, so I've done a lot of this stuff, like obviously not recorded, but there still is a bunch left. Like I haven't done any of this at all here, so but like this one's, I have a couple things to do here, and I only have like a couple things to do here. So I figured, the the previous week, as of this upload, the previous week or two of my life have been a little hectic. Uh, I'll get into that later. Long story short, to kind of keep you on edge, I was hospitalized. So, we'll get there. I'll talk about that, but I just kind of, I don't know. I want to talk about other things first. So I do have some talking points so that I can kind of keep myself on track here. Let me set this up so it stops locking on me, so I don't have to keep unlocking my phone every 5 seconds. Just give me a moment. Okay, so yeah. So I've already, kind of talked about why I haven't uploaded. We'll get started here. Where am I going? To the recycling plant. It's just down the road, right? Yeah. All right. So, although I do need to pick up those service spare parts. I'll probably forget. If you are someone that is subscribed and you watched me play SnowRunner a lot, you'll know that I tend to forget what I'm doing and I'll drive straight past where I'm supposed to be going. I do it all the time, so that will probably still happen. So I need this in a better spot. I'm sorry. I really was trying to be prepared here, and I'm kind of dropping the ball. All right. So first thing I really kind of want to talk about is making videos and just like talking about my life, which is what I really kind of did when I played SnowRunner. It started to feel really strange. It started to feel like I was just telling strangers about my life, which essentially is what I was doing. And I don't know, I got like really in my head about it, and like it really started to bother me after a while. I was like, do I really want this to be on the internet forever? And I don't know, I started to kind of realize that didn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, I don't really care that much. I don't tell that many like personal. I don't give you like the private details of my life, but like, I still talk about my life. I try to avoid, pronouns and names and things like that, but I still at least give, general idea of what's going on in my life. That's what I always did, at least. Another thing too is like I started to feel weird about it with work. Like I would talk about my work, and anyone that could do some research online would be able to figure out where I live if I would like mention, what artist or what comedian or whatever came through the venue I work in. And it started to weird me out too. Like I was like, well, what if someone starts to like stalk me, or comes to my work and then like causes a scene, and then like I get fired from my job because I'm like talking about my job on the internet. Like just stuff like that. Like and I'm not a very anxious, like I don't have anxiety. It's not something that I really deal with on a daily basis. There are certain things that will cause anxiety in me, which I'll get into that later on. And then, there's some other things that I don't really want to publicly talk about on the internet. But that's just kind of what it is. So that was one of the reasons why I had kind of went on a little hiatus as well. And I guess in a way I was getting a little bit burnt out. I was playing a lot of games, and like I was playing so many games that like I would start to get it felt like a chore. Like I'm a big trophy hunter. I try to 100% complete every single game I play, trophy wise at least. I don't necessarily 100% complete the game, like the interior game. If like the game has a 100% checklist, like if it's not something that's required for a trophy, I don't care about it necessarily. So unless I really, really like the game, like obviously SnowRunner, I've had all the trophies for this game forever since the game first came out. But I just love this game so much that they keep releasing the DLC, and I just keep playing it because it's just fun. I'm not going to forget about this, by the way. So it's just things like I started to feel like all I did was, play games and record them and upload them, and I wasn't really even enjoying games anymore. Oh shit, this isn't how I want to turn. I gotta turn around. I wasn't really enjoying games anymore either. Like, I was playing them in such short stints because, like, with YouTube, videos over, 15, 20 minutes really don't do that well unless you have a large following to begin with, and I don't. My SnowRunner videos I keep an hour long because SnowRunner is just, it's kind of a slow-moving game to begin with, and you don't get a lot done in that amount of time, so I just do an hour because that's the maximum I can record on my PlayStation, which if you don't know, I record and, I do everything directly from my PlayStation. I use Share Factory to, like, edit it and upload it and all that stuff to YouTube. So, like, I don't have a PC. I have a MacBook Pro that's 2011. Like, it's old as hell. It can't do anything other than just, like, I can use the internet on it, and, like, that's about it. Which is fine. I don't need anything else. Like, it works enough for what I want to use it for. But, like, it just... games weren't fun for me anymore. And, like, I was playing Spider-Man 2, and if you go to the last episode that I uploaded of that, I say in that I'm not going to record it anymore because I wasn't enjoying the game. Like, it just wasn't fun for me. I was only playing it in, like, 30-minute stints, and then I would just basically play it to record it to upload it to YouTube, and I just wasn't enjoying it. And as soon as I stopped recording it and uploading it, I started enjoying that game a lot more, and it became more fun to me. So, like, that's just, that was another part of it. It just didn't seem like something that I could continue to do and enjoy doing, and I didn't feel like I was making very quality videos. I was just kind of... it was like a quantity over quality thing, and that's never good. Alright, let's pick these up. I gotta take off this hoodie too. I'm dying. Shit. That's another... I don't know if that's just a side effect of, some of my hospitalization things. I know I keep bringing that up, and I'm probably sure it's driving you crazy if you're actually curious about it. And I promise I'll get there, but... I gotta turn on, like, my ceiling fan or something. I'm dying. Literally. Alright, if I can remember how to do that from my watch, we'll get there. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know, if you've never, like, played a game and commentated over top of it while you're playing it, then I guess you don't really know what I mean. It was fun at first, and when I was first doing it, I was really enjoying it, but I also didn't have a job at the same time either. So that may be part of it. I was just kind of, like, burnt out, essentially, on that. But it became a lot, and I didn't really want to do it anymore, and I kind of just really lost interest in it, which is why I just kind of dropped to just doing SnowRunner. And I was still trying to do SnowRunner at least every other day, and then I couldn't even do that. I just didn't have the motivation to do it. And if I don't have the motivation to do it, I'm just not going to do it. It's not that I'm lazy, but I can't do something I'm not enjoying and like feel good about it. And I know this is a very common thing for a lot of people that upload videos to YouTube, so I know I'm not like alone here. But that's really the big reason. So if you are a fan and you stuck around this whole time I've been gone, I know there's been a couple people, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name. I'm not that invested in YouTube, but I know there's been a couple people that have commented on some of my videos and just been like, it's been a long time, like, where have you been? And, you know, it's just, like I said, I don't make any money off this. It was just something I did for fun. So that is really the main reasons why I stopped uploading. Drop these off. Alright, what we got now? Should we... See, we can finish off this environment thing, which is logs, metal rolls. The log stage is there. I don't think I have a short log trailer though. I'd have to go get one. Let's actually do this because I think I can take all of those. I think I have enough space on my truck. Also, if you don't know, if you're new, I do use mods because it's just how I enjoy to play the game. I know this truck is overpowered. I don't care. If you don't like watching people play with mods, then this probably isn't the channel for you. I don't always only play with modded trucks. I am using a lot of vanilla trucks as well. And when I say vanilla, I just mean trucks that aren't modded, so trucks that are just in the game, DLC or otherwise. Like the Mac Defense is like one of my other favorite trucks. I really love the Tega B, so I use those trucks too. This is just really my main workhorse. I love the Zeek's 605R. It's just too good. And then I really like Olson's trailers. This is a 6-slot or a 4-slot sideboard bed, and then I have the 2-slot bed on the back here with the banana crane on top of this, and it's just amazing. I can fit 6 cargo, or I have 6 cargo slots. And there's even a 6-slot sideboard bed trailer, but that thing just makes it incredibly long, so I only use that if I have to. This is my main go-to setup, though, for pretty much anything. I don't really like semi-trailers because I just feel like they're less maneuverable. They're easier to back up, sure, but they're less maneuverable as far as just, you know, turning radius and whatnot. So that's the reasoning on that. But yeah, anyway, so my plans going forward, and the reason why I even kind of just decided to record today was because I was playing SnowRunner on my Portal, which my wife bought me a PlayStation Portal for Christmas, and it's been amazing. I love that thing. It's awesome. If you're on the fence about it, I would definitely think about getting one. It works great at home if you have a good router. You don't need necessarily have good internet. You just have to have a good router, a 5 gigahertz router at least. Because when you're at home, you're just using your home network, so your internet speed doesn't matter at all. All that matters is that your router is good and you have, you know, good bandwidth on your router. You're using the 5 gigahertz band, and your PlayStation 5 pretty much needs to be hardwired. I mean, some people say that theirs works okay on Wi-Fi, but I would hardwire it if you can. And then your Portal should work great. And if you have a PlayStation Plus Premium, that I know it's expensive, but honestly, it's worth it now because you can just straight up stream games without your PS5 being on because of the cloud streaming data with Premium. And you know, it's not every game in the library that you can stream, but there's a pretty good amount of games on there, and I've used it to test out games that I've just been playing in my spare time. And I'll get into some of that later because I want to go over some of the games I've platinumed and all that stuff because I've platinumed a lot of games since I've, excuse me, not while I was hospitalized. Not what I was hospitalized for, by the way, just a cough. But yeah, I've platinumed a lot of games since all of that. Since I've been gone or whatever. But the Portal's great, and it's really worth it in my opinion. I love mine. I use it in bed a lot. My wife appreciates that because I come to bed a lot more often now. Oh, actually, I wish I did have a 6 slot. That would make this a 1 trip. It's alright. We got time. We'll come back in one trip. If I don't finish talking about everything in this episode, I will make another episode. So, but I promise I will at least talk about the hospital thing before this ends. I need to go this way. So, okay, so back on track here. I'm not really saying that I'm totally back and then I'll be continually uploading. I will try. I'll do my best. I do have a renewed surge for SnowRunner because, like I said, I was playing it on my Portal when I was in the hospital. Well, not really while I was in the hospital. When I got home from the hospital, I just booted it up because I was, interested in it. Which, funnily enough, I think what kind of got me wanting to play SnowRunner again is because when I was in the hospital, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and there's this one. Oh God. That was inevitable. There's this one YouTuber called Guilty of Treason. He cuts down trees. He's a tree climber out in Washington. And I can pick it up. And I don't know, I really like his content, but it just, I don't know, that kind of just made me think of SnowRunner for some reason, because it's kind of, I guess in a way similar, not really, but kind of. Hopefully this will pack. Yes. I was coming in real hot there. That was dumb. So yeah, I don't know. I had this kind of urge to play SnowRunner, and I was playing it today, and it just made me think about recording, and so that's why I'm here. So I hope you are happy to see me, and we're already almost 20 minutes into this, so I'm gonna have to speed up here if I want to get through everything I want to talk about. But yeah, I'm actually, I've still been steadily gaining subscribers, which is kind of crazy to me because I haven't uploaded anything in 6 months. But my Michigan tips video and my Tales of Iron Greenwort tips video on Bloody Whisker mode have still been getting a lot of comments and interaction, and I've been gaining subs from them, I guess. So, it's been something that I think I'm close to 1K. If I get to 1K, I can monetize, which I know I'm not going to make any money ever. I'll make a couple fucking cents maybe, but whatever. It just would be cool to say that I monetize a YouTube channel. That's just something that I never really thought I would be able to do. I didn't ever really think it was going to happen. It's always something I hoped for, especially when I didn't have a job. I thought it would be cool, but it's not something I ever want to be my full-time job. Even if I won the lottery, I would still... Where do I need to go? I have no idea where I need to go. I should probably mark it out so I can talk and do this at the same time. Oh, of course, I gotta go all... Holy shit. Alright, so I guess we're gonna go... I could just drive up the mountain. Yeah, we'll just do that. Alright, I don't really need to map this out too much. I just need to put a thing here, so I need to turn that way. Put one here, so I need to turn that way, and then we'll put one here, so I need to turn there. Should be good. What was I saying? Totally lost my train of thought. I don't know. Oh yeah. You being almost at 1K subscribers. I'm close. I'm I think I have 918 or something like that. I'm around there somewhere. So that's just kind of neat, I just... What the hell? just had a notification pop up saying my LAN cable was not connected, and then it connected again. That was weird. So I just, if I hit 1K, that's cool, and you know, I'll keep recording and whatever when I can, and I'll upload when I can, and that's just what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna make any promises. I'm not gonna make any schedules, and I'm not gonna make any guarantees on what I'm gonna play. I may not always play SnowRunner. I may play something else. We'll get to that a little later. But like, you know, if I do start playing something and I don't enjoy it, I may just stop playing it and I'll finish it on my own. You know, or if I'm losing interest in playing it while recording, like I did with Spider-Man, and I'll just stop and play it on my own. Unless there's like a severe, you know, following in it, and like I have people like wanting me to continue playing it, then I'll continue playing it, of course. But I don't really have that, so it doesn't give me the motivation to keep playing. So that's kind of where I'm at. So we'll see how things go, and that's kind of where I'm at. We'll see how things go from there. Alright. I don't really know how I'm going to do this while I'm driving. It would have been easier if I had my wheel out, but I can't. I don't have the strength in me to carry my wheel upstairs. It's down in my basement, and I'm not doing that, so... here, I'll just stop real quick and go over all the games that I've platinumed in the last 6 months or so. It's not crazy. Don't think I'm not saying I'm like amazing for doing, you know, all these games, but it's really not that many games, but it's a decent amount. Once I get in here, and yes, this truck will be able to go up this hill, don't worry. This truck is way overpowered. Alright, so let's just take a minute here. Turn off the engine. Alright, so I have platinumed. Most recently, I have platinumed Dredge. I have platinumed Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares doesn't have a platinum, but I have all the trophies. Platinumed Little Nightmares 2. I've platinumed the Bug Snacks. I've platinumed Red Dead Redemption 2, which I never thought I would get that platinum. Like, that's crazy. I started working on GTA 5, but I kind of like... I haven't really played it in a while. I did get Planet Coaster 2, and I would love to just do some builds on that. I would love to get better on that. I'd love to upload videos on it. So if anyone's actually interested in that, definitely let me know, because it's something I've always wanted to do, like build a coaster and theme it out. I'm not going to be able to do a whole park because I don't really have that capability because I'm on PS5, and there's a limit on what you can do, which granted, I know you can still do it, but it's not going to be a big park. But I would love to just at least be able to do like a singular roller coaster or something and really theme it out and like make it really, really cool. Like, it's always been something I've wanted to do. I'm not good at it, but I could get good at it. But Planet Coaster 2 has a lot of bugs, and I wanted to get all the trophies first, and I just kind of got tired of dealing with all the bugs, so I backed out of it for now. I'll come back to it later. Obviously, I've been keeping up with Power Wash Simulator, so I'm 100% trophies on that. I've gotten back up to 100% trophies on Astro's Playroom because I didn't do any of the extra stuff they added before Astrobot came out. I still have not played Astrobot, though. I need to do that as well. I platinumed Grounded. I have platinumed the first Planet Coaster. I have platinumed the Elder Scrolls Skyrim on PS5, which I already have the platinum on PS4. That was just something to do for fun. I platinumed Fallout New Vegas, which I think I was talking about that when I was still recording back then. I don't have the DLC done because I streamed that game, and you can't. There's no way for me to get the DLC. I still have a PS3, but I'm not gonna buy the DLC just to do that. That's ridiculous. I'd have to play on the PS3 anyway, and I don't own the game, so I wouldn't be able to do it, basically. And then the only other thing after that is Unpacking. No. Yeah, Unpacking. I planned, which that's a really fun, just easy, mindless, brainless game. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered I platinumed, Teardown I platinumed, and then the only other thing, the next thing after that on my PSN profiles is Spider-Man 2, so I did end up getting the platinum of Spider-Man 2. So like that's, you know, that's what I've been up to. I'm currently working on Dave the Diver. That's a really fun game. I've been playing that on my portal a lot. But I kind of, like, that game kind of pisses me off sometimes, and I just... I don't know. That's kind of why I started playing SnowRunner today, because I had this dive going on Dave the Diver, and I had all these cool fish. They weren't killed. They were like sleeping, so they were 3-star fish, and then I fucking died, and I lost all of them. I was so mad. All right, so it is what it is, though. You know, it just shit happens. I don't know why I locked my phone. That was dumb. How do I get out of this one? Okay. So yes, that's all the games I platinumed. Some upcoming games that I, want to play. I haven't been buying a lot of games lately just because I have PlayStation Plus Premium, and there's a lot of games on there that I can just stream and play that I'm interested in, so there's no real reason for me to buy games. But obviously, Tales of Iron 2 just released today, as of recording this, the 28th of January. And obviously, I loved Tales of Iron, and so Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter, I think it's called. I really am looking forward to playing. I don't know when I'll get it, but it's not going to be like right away. I don't really like spending full price on games. I like to try to wait till they come on sale at the very least. Roadcraft, obviously, which is a spin-off of SnowRunner, I guess you could say. So looking forward to that. I don't really want to be burned on that, though, because I really did not enjoy Expeditions. I still have not platinumed that game. I have not even really touched it since I stopped uploading it. I just didn't like it, and I will eventually play it, I think, but I gotta find the itch has to come from somewhere, and I don't have that itch yet, so we'll get there. Assassin's Creed Shadows, that's another game that comes out March 20th. Oh, Roadcraft comes out May 20th. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out March 20th. Again, super burnout from Assassin's Creed. I still have not platinumed Mirage. I couldn't do it, man. I was so sick of Assassin's Creed. If you remember, I was just burning through all of those, and I did all of them back to back, and then I got to Mirage, and Mirage wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a lot like the original Assassin's Creeds as far as collectibles go, and it's just not. It's still that same shitty, like, having to use your eagle or bird, whatever the hell it is that flies up in the air, to mark the collectibles or to find the collectibles on the ground. I just hate that. I just want it to be, I want to be able to go buy a map from someone and run around and pick up the collectibles, and it's not like that. At least I don't think so. It didn't seem like it to me. And I don't know. I'll finish that again eventually. I lost interest, and I couldn't do it anymore. Death Stranding 2, it doesn't have a release date, but it is supposed to come out this year. That game, I'm really excited for. I love Death Stranding a lot more than I thought I would. Obviously, I didn't record that game, because that game I would say is more of a live stream game than a recording game, and I don't think I will ever live stream. Not to say, I guess I shouldn't say that, but I don't ever see that happening. Elden Ring Night Rain is another game I'm interested in. I still haven't even played the DLC for Elden Ring. And the main reason why, this is a problem for me, is I don't have the motivation. Yeah, I don't have the motivation. I don't know why I can't say that word. I don't have the motivation to play games that are DLC that doesn't have trophies. It's really, really hard for me to find the motivation to do that. And I know that's terrible, but it's how I am. So maybe someday I'll boot that up and play it, but I probably won't record that either, because as much as I like Souls games and have platinumed all of them, I'm not amazing at them, and I die a lot, so it's just not worth it for me to try to record it. Ghost of Yotei, it also comes out this year. That's another game that I'm interested in. I think I've talked about this before. I liked Ghost of Tsushima. I played it on the channel. But it's still like, everyone talks about that game like it's this just most amazing game ever made. And like, yeah, it's beautiful. The graphics are amazing. The story is great. But it's so repetitive. The side quests and everything are just the most repetitive things. You do the same thing over and over and over. And I just got tired of it. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't understand why people like spout that game as like the best game in the world. It's just not that great. It's good, but it's not that great. And I know that's a really unpopular opinion, but that's that's how I feel about it. Alright, let's go back. I know this is kind of going to be a bit of a drag here, but it's fine. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I still have 30 minutes, so we're doing well. And, you know, if I end this just rambling about random shit, that's fine, because I do want to talk about the hospital thing, so I'd rather get all this other stuff done than be able to have time to talk about that. So, but yeah, I mean, Ghost of Yotei, it looks amazing, it looks cool. I just really hope they try to change up, like, the side quest, because it was too repetitive to me, and I just got really tired of it. So, man, try to think of some other things to talk about here. There's definitely other games coming out this year. I just briefly looked at a list because I can't remember. I can't keep track of all of it anymore. It's just too much. Like I said, I work full time. I have 2 kids. I have a wife. Like, I love video games. It's my main hobby, but it's just not my main priority, I should say. At least I try to not make it my main priority. Alright, well, that's really all I've got. As far as all of that stuff, updates-wise. Now, I guess I'll just talk about the hospitalization. Okay, so, how do I start this? So, 14 years ago, I'm 34, so when I was 20, I would often have this problem where I would get really, really severe abdominal pain, and it would hurt so bad. Like, if you know what gas pains feel like say you have, you know, a fart that you feel is stuck and you can't get it out, and you have this horrible gas pain. Like, that's what it is. That terrible gas pain that's just like stuck and you can't get rid of it. It hurts so bad, and it just like, it's constant. It doesn't go away. I would get that pain, and I'd be like, it would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I would like have to, this was even still like in high school, even up into my early 20s. I would have to go into my parents' room and wake them up, and then go to the hospital, and they'd have to like give me some kind of pain medication to calm me down, because I was in so much pain that my muscles were so tense that I couldn't relax, and like, it was horrible. They could never figure out what was really wrong. I went to the ER a couple times for it, and then finally one time I went to the ER. I had a CAT scan, and they found that my colon, or large intestine, whatever you want to call it, has a part of it that's what is called distended, which means it goes like, essentially you have like an extra elongated like loop of it at the one corner, kind of like where my liver is. And like, my colon will trap gas there, and it'll inflate so much that it pushes my liver around in my body, and it fucking hurts, like, incredibly bad. And basically they admitted me back then, and, you know, I had inflammation even too in my bowels, and they treated that with antibiotics because it was what is called enteritis, which is a bacterial infection, which I don't know how I get that bacterial infection in my bowels, but it's what it is. So they treat it with antibiotics, and, you know, it sucks. And I was, you know, I was discharged. I don't remember how long I stayed that year, but I was discharged. Is this where I want to go? Yeah. I'm going to go that way, and then this way. We're just going to go back the way we came. So I don't remember how long I was in the hospital that time. I think it was only like maybe a night or 2. I don't remember, though. It was 14 years ago. So then, you know, after I was discharged from there, they wanted me to have a colonoscopy. If you don't know what a colonoscopy is, it's usually something you don't get until you're 50, especially if you're a man. They recommend men get them when they're 50 because of prostate cancer. So typically, if you're a man, you don't get one until you're 50. I had one when I was 20. So what a colonoscopy is you have to drink all of this stuff. You're not allowed to eat or drink anything the day before. You have to drink all of this stuff, and it literally just makes you sit on the toilet, and you just... it's like liquid coming out of your butt, like straight liquid. like you turned on the faucet. Like I'm not joking. So you go through all that, then you get up the next day, you go to your procedure, they put you to sleep, they do it, it's really quick, it's like 15 minutes maybe. And then you wake up in the bed afterwards and you're like, wow, that was quick, but it feels like you just closed your eyes for a second and you're back awake. If you've ever been put to sleep with anesthesia, you know what I mean. So, after that procedure, you don't ever have any pain afterwards. You may have a little bit of discomfort, but it's not painful. You don't really have any issues typically afterwards. It's pretty, you'll just have a lot of gas afterwards, like you'll fart a lot. They actually usually ask you to fart before you leave the outpatient procedure place or whatever it is. Because you don't get it done in a hospital. You usually get it done in like an outpatient procedure place because, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a surgery technically. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is technically or not, but they don't cut you open or anything. So anyway, had that, it was fine. It came back with, no bad results. I didn't have anything. I had polyps, nothing like that. Just the weird distension, abnormality that's part of my anatomy. So then 14 years go by. Never had that pain. I may have had it, just very, very minor gas pain. I managed to pass the gas, and it didn't, get too bad. So 14 years go by, and then I get this full-time job, start working full-time. And if you know anything about the entertainment industry, especially the technician, like the technical side, we work really long hours sometimes, especially on show days. Like I can work an 18-hour day easily, just getting there in the morning for load in, everything, and then set up, and then the show, and then load out, and whatever. You could be there from 7 in the morning till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So doing that, I don't necessarily take care of my body as well. I don't keep myself as hydrated. I don't eat regularly. I'll go long periods of time without eating, and that can cause my bowels to basically freeze up and then essentially trap gas, stop moving. There's this thing called low motility, which means your bowel doesn't, have like the spasming motion that it does to pass things through it to, exit out your butt. So I had an episode or an attack in May. My wife took me to the emergency room in my town, which my town's emergency room, or my town has a pretty large hospital. It's not a huge hospital, but it's a pretty big hospital. It has a trauma center, so, trauma goes there. And I waited in that emergency room for 5.5 hours, and I was in severe pain, like doubled over. I was vomiting into like a vomit bag, and there were just all these people sitting around in the waiting room that looked like they weren't in any pain, and I couldn't tell you why they were there. It was the weirdest thing in the world, but like no one was doing anything for me. I was in so much pain that like I couldn't sit up straight. I was walking back and forth. I was shaking. A nurse finally came out after it had been like 3.5, 4 hours and gave me pain medication in the waiting room because I was in so much pain. And then we went back into we finally get called back like 5.5 hours later. And the doctor's like, well, where's your pain? And I was like, well, I don't really have any pain now because they gave me pain medication and it's calmed down a lot. So I've been able to calm down and my muscles have relaxed and everything is okay. So they just, were like, okay, well, take these medicines and then go. So the medicines they prescribed me were not necessarily correct, but not necessarily incorrect. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But basically, you know what? I'm going to leave this trip. I'll probably regret that, but it's just one less thing I have to drag along. They prescribed me a medication called Bentyl, or its generic name is dicyclomine. And that is an antispasmodic, which is typically prescribed to people that have like Crohn's or IBS, I think. And I don't have either of those. That's been ruled out multiple times. So like, if I would take that, that's basically, if I already have low motility in my bowels, that's making it even worse because it's causing it to stop doing it even more. So, like, I didn't ever think it worked to begin with, so I really didn't take it that much. I would try taking it sometimes, and it just never did anything, so I just stopped taking it because it didn't do anything for me. And, like, they also prescribed me, like, basically prescription strength ibuprofen, which is an NSAID, which is really, really hard on your stomach and hard on your bowels. So, like, it just, again, like, it was just like, why? Like, why would you, it just, I don't know, it just didn't seem like, for the level of hospital they are, it just felt very like they didn't care and they didn't believe that I was in a lot of pain. It was weird. So anyway, months go by, and then November, I have another episode, just this past November, like 2024. And that time, I'm like, I cannot go to that. I cannot sit in the waiting room for 5.5 hours. And so we drove to my hometown, which is about 15 minutes north of where we live now. And it's actually in the next state up from us. I live really close. I live like basically on the state line of, it doesn't really matter. I live on the state line of like Maryland and Pennsylvania. So like I can be in Pennsylvania in like 10 minutes. Shit, I went the wrong way. So, yeah. So I can be in Pennsylvania in like 10 minutes. So the hospital's like 15, 20 minutes away from us. And so she took me there. I was literally, I walked in the door, told them what was wrong. They took me back immediately. There was no one in the waiting room, granted, because this is a very, very small hospital. It's a very small town. They don't even have labor and delivery. They don't have a trauma center. They have an emergency room or emergency department, whatever you want to call it. But they're very, very small. But they're all very, very nice, and they took care of me. They gave me a CAT scan. The hospital I went to before did not. The one in my town that I live in now. They did not give me a CAT scan. So when I went to the hospital in my hometown, they gave me a CAT scan. It came back with the same exact results that I had 14 years ago. They were like, you have this weird abnormality where you have this extension in your valve. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, that I knew that 14 years ago. And they were like, you're also like full of gas. Like, I've never seen someone so full of gas before. And I was like, yeah, that's, I told you, that's why I have this pain. And it's always like, they always think it's so crazy that like I know exactly what's wrong with me, but like they're trying to figure out something more. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, they told me initially to keep taking the Bentyl, which I disagreed with, but they did too. And I don't remember what else they told me to do, but either way, they gave me some pain medication through an IV while I was in the emergency department, and I felt better, and I went home. And then like a week goes by, and I still don't feel right. Like I didn't feel like I was right. Like it felt wrong. I still felt like I had a lot of gas in there. I couldn't get rid of it. So my wife took me back, same emergency room in my hometown. They see me again. Or no, that's when they gave me the CAT scan. Yeah. The first time they did give me a CAT scan. So the second time they gave me a CAT scan, they found all that. They told me to hydrate as much as I could and to drink Miralax every other day, which is actually what I did 14 years ago. So I don't know why that wasn't like on my mind to do. And like we have Miralax in my house because my son holds his poop, so we have to give it to him so he doesn't hold his poop. Which Miralax is just a stool softener. It's not like a laxative or anything. It just keeps your poop soft basically, so it's just easier to pass. So anyway, I did that, and actually, like, I felt so much better. I was doing better, and I was like, this is great. Like, I think I have this under control. I think I know how to control it again, and I think I'll be okay. And I was doing fine. They are in a completely different network from the hospital in my town. Although they all still use the same Epic or whatever, which a lot of hospitals in my country, oh wow, I didn't realize I was almost out of gas. A lot of hospitals in the United States use Epic because it's a really good like portal for medicine and stuff. It logs all of your appointments and all of your everything, basically any medical treatment you've had, and they can see it no matter what network you're in. So like if you go to a hospital that's outside of a completely different state and they use Epic, they'll still be able to see everything that you have in your Epic account basically. So it's really cool. So they could see all the stuff that I had done before, and, they worked out what I needed to do, and they referred me to a GI doctor within their network. So that was in a whole nother town, which is like 20 minutes from my hometown, which is fine, it's whatever. It's still only like a 30-minute drive from my house. So I go there and see them. They want me to have a colonoscopy again, and I'm like, I really don't think that's necessary, because you're just going to see exactly what they saw 14 years ago. And they were like, well, we just want to do it anyway. So I was like, whatever. So anyway, all while this is going on, my wife and I decide that it's best that I get a vasectomy, because neither of us want to have any more kids. And she went through childbirth twice, so I was like, listen, I'll get snipped. It's not a big deal. So I go through the process to get that started as well. And then I get all these appointments scheduled, and literally my vasectomy was 6 days before my colonoscopy, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best idea, but, I was like, how bad can it be? I heard from a lot of people, my brother included, that it wasn't that bad, so I was like, whatever, we'll do it. So we did it, and it was fine. First 3 days were a little rough, felt like I was kicking the balls, but then, the day after that, I was fine. Didn't have any issues. And then, so my colonoscopy comes around. I don't know why, that's not really that relevant to the story, I just wanted to include it because it was another medical procedure that I had within the last 2 weeks. So then, the colonoscopy comes around, which, if you're a fan of the channel, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm a big Ravens fan, Baltimore Ravens fan. Baltimore Ravens were playing in the divisional playoff game on the Sunday before my colonoscopy, which means I had to do my prep during the game. So I was in and out of the bathroom while that game was going on, and of course the Ravens lost, which sucked. But it's whatever. Besides the point. Did the prep before the colonoscopy, went in for the colonoscopy the next day, had the colonoscopy. Literally, the doctor came out afterwards and was like, yeah, you have this distension in your bowel. He's like, it's abnormal, but he's like, you shouldn't have any issues with it. It's not really a problem. He's just like, just stay hydrated, keep your bowels moving with Miralax and things like that, and you should be okay. So I was like, all right, whatever. So then I go home. Later that evening, by like 8 o'clock, I start getting the gas pain, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. And like I said earlier, with colonoscopy, they fill you up with air so that they can, actually, I don't know if it did say this. When you get a colonoscopy, they fill you up with air so that they can get good visualization of your colon when they're passing the camera up through. And the camera they use is just like a long, cylindrical, bendy device that they can go all like 5 to 6 feet up through your colon, up to your small intestine, as far as they can go. And basically, them filling me with air like that, and then the prep also dehydrates you really, really bad. It was a recipe for disaster for me in my anatomy, and it basically spiraled me into one of those attacks, and it was the absolute worst one I've ever had, like hands down. So I'm just gonna stop here and finish this. So basically, what happened was I was fighting it from Monday. The 20th, I think was, the 20th was my colonoscopy. Monday the 20th at 8 p.m. I started having the pain. I fought it until early Wednesday morning, like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was in pretty bad pain that entire time almost. I was fighting it. It would go away for short periods of time and come back. I went to work on Tuesday morning, and I left at noon because I just couldn't do it. Like, I went in at 8. I was laying on the floor in the auditorium on my side, like in the fetal position, in so much pain, and I just couldn't do it. I went in because we had a meeting in the morning about our upcoming shows, and I wanted to be there for that, but like, I couldn't handle it, and it was bad, so I had to leave. Everyone was like, you have to go, so I left. And then, I just struggled through the next couple hours, and then Wednesday, when I woke up, I felt okay. Like, I still had some pressure in my abdomen, but it wasn't terrible. And I didn't think, like, I thought it was, coming to an end. So I was like, I think I'm okay. Like, I told my wife, she was off work. I was like, I think I'm good. Like, I think it's calmed down. I think I'm okay. I was drinking water and everything. And then around 4 o'clock, like right when we were about to go pick up our kids from the daycare, I just got this like absolute searing pain in like my lower right side. like right above my pubic bone. And it was awful, and all the pressure just came back like with a vengeance, and I couldn't even stand up. So my wife was like, "We're going right now to the hospital." So we went back to the hospital, the one in my hometown. They saw me immediately. They admitted me, and I was in the hospital for 5 days. I was there from Wednesday night, and I was discharged on Monday, the 27th. While I was in the hospital, I was trying so hard to pass gas. I was trying so hard to have bowel movements. I couldn't. I mean, I barely had anything in my stomach because I had colonoscopy, and I barely ate anything afterwards. It was awful, and they couldn't get my pain under control for a while, and it was a struggle. And they eventually put an NG tube in, which is a tube that goes up your nose, down your throat, into your stomach, and it really sucked. Like that was bad. I will not lie. I cried. I was. It was awful. Them putting that tube up my nose, down my throat, it made you gag. I gagged multiple times. I had tears streaming down my face. It was awful because I was awake when they did this, and it was just a nurse in the middle of the night. It happened it happened at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I think, because I barely slept. Like I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain that night. And it was the last resort, like literally the last resort. Like there was nothing else they could do. They needed to decompress my stomach. They needed to get anything out of my stomach that was in there so it stopped going down through my bowels and getting processed and causing more pain. So I had the tube in from, that was, I don't even remember, Friday? I don't know. I had the tube in for like 60 some hours almost. And the tube was irritating my sinuses. It was making my ear hurt. It was making my palate hurt. Like it felt like my teeth hurt. It was the worst experience. I would not wish that on my worst enemy ever. I never ever want to experience that again. And like, I can't explain to you how terrible that was. It was awful. And then they finally took it out because well, they unclamped it, meaning like they disconnected it from the suction for like, they have to have it for a minimum of 12 hours unclamped. I have to have no nausea, no vomiting, which I didn't have any of that after the pain was really kind of gone. I only ever really have nausea and vomiting when I'm in like the severe pain. But so the one doctor was being weird about it. He like didn't want to pull the tube for a while, and then he finally upped me to like full regular liquids, not just clear liquids, and I was able to tolerate that, although it was terrible to try to swallow stuff with that tube in your throat. It's a small tube, but like still, like swallowing something with there's already something going down your throat is rough. And it's on top of the pain it was causing me in like my mouth and my sinuses, it was horrible. If you've ever had an NG tube, and you know what I mean, but it was really bad. So, and then of course it was hospital foods. It was like tomato soup, and it was like chunky, and oh, it was so gross. The one nice thing about it though was like they would give me Tylenol, and they would crush up the Tylenol and like dissolve it in like water, and then they would just put it down through the tube, so it would just directly go straight into my stomach. That was cool. But I don't know. It was really bad when she pulled that tube out though. She was like my favorite person in the world, favorite nurse in the world, and like the relief I felt almost immediately when that tuber was removed is incredible. Like it hurt for maybe 5 minutes afterwards, and then the pain from all of that in my sinuses was completely gone. It was in like, oh man, trying to sleep with that thing, it was so bad, like so bad. Anyway, I had the tube pulled out, and then I was there. I think they pulled the tube on Sunday. No, they pulled the tube. I can't remember. This is way too. It's too hard for me to remember. Hold on, let me look this up. I know I'm running out of time here. Here we go.
Well, I don't have the date. They pulled it out at. They pulled. That's right. They pulled it out. Yeah, it was on Sunday. They pulled it out at 4:30 during the NFC Championship game. Because I remember I texted my wife a picture of my face, and they just pulled it out. So, and then I got discharged on Monday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's really basically my story. And I've been home now. I have a whole slew of antibiotics I have to take, a whole bunch of Tylenol that I can take if I need it. It was a rough experience. So I feel for anyone that ever has to go through that. If you have a similar problem as me, if you're out there and you have a similar abdominal issue as me, or if you don't even if you've had this problem and they couldn't figure it out, maybe this is what was wrong with you. Maybe you have a weird part of your anatomy and that's a thing. So some of the things I know I can do is I can hydrate as much as possible. I can continue to drink Miralax in my water, which again is just stool softener. You can drink it every day; it's not going to hurt you. Um, and then another thing that I really, really, really need to focus on doing is eating consistent meals like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then in between, even eating like little snacks to keep my bowels moving constantly, keep my digestive system constantly moving, so that it does never freeze. It never freezes up. It always moves, and it's always constantly working, constantly doing something, so the motility stays in a consistent state. I think that'll work, and I think that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to do my best to do that. When I'm at work, if I don't have time to go eat, then I'm just going to have to eat a quick snack like a granola bar or, some kind of something I can just eat and walk on the go while I'm working, because I cannot do that again, ever again. It was absolutely terrible, and I would never wish that on anyone, no matter how they wronged me. They could be my worst enemy in the world. I would never wish that pain on them, and I would never wish for someone to have an NG tube because it's awful. So that's my story. I'm not saying I'm back, but we're gonna try. And if there's anything you want to see me play, let me know. I would love to see some engagement in my comments. That would be great. If you stuck around for this whole video, I appreciate you. I really do. I kind of have this new appreciation on like just people in general. Everyone in that hospital was so great, just considering how small of a hospital it was. Um, most of my subs come from my Michigan Tips video, my Tales of Iron, Bloody Whiskers, Greenward Tips video, so I assume a lot of you are interested in those games, so I will probably play Tales of Iron on the channel. Um, I'm also sure there's just a general larger SnowRunner fan base, just because that's what most of my content was to begin with. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Definitely sub. I would love to hit 1,000 subs. That would be awesome. It would mean a lot. But yeah, that's my story. I hope you listened. Let me know in the comments below. That's gonna wrap it up for this though. So like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna consistently upload, but we'll try. And I will talk to you later. Also, don't expect to see a whole lot more of this region, because I'll probably just finish this off. And if I do start uploading again, we'll just start on the next region, which is North Carolina. And if I want to play SnowRunner in my free time, I'll just play one of my other save files. It's fine. But I just wanted to give a little update out there, and yeah, we'll see how things go. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked it. Comment below if you want to. Subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good one.